Terry Tyler, American Storm Chaser here, and I want to talk to you. I'm very angry, extremely angry, lately about the topic of respect and the topic of time and the topic of rich fucks. And what I'm going to do now is talk to the people about this. It's a serious business. It is for some, maybe not so for others. As you all know, I've been waging a war, or Jeff Bezos is waging a war against me. And we have a big argument. This beef involves spying, surveillance, and blacklisting. It involves prejudice and crushing the poor. And it goes into one thing that I think that we've lost here in America, and that's honesty. It's it's imbalance in a geometric sense. So I'm going to address this today because it's everybody's business, and it's fixing to be everybody's business. Uh, let's go take a look. Are we still on? Good. Now, as you all know, I've been in this war with Bezos, probably the best billionaire. I think he's got a secret side to him. Number one, I think he's a sadist. I don't know if anything else, but I suspect he's a sadist. And I'm going to say why. I don't like following people's lives. I don't like TMZ. I'm busy out here hustling and trying to get by and work like the next American. All right? A lot of my business revolves around Amazon. Amazon has a monopoly on this. They have trucks running up and down the road. They have satellites and systems going into space. And by the way, for my military guys out there, my intelligence community people, this man holds an active clearance, from what I hear. Yeah, Jeff Bezos holds a security clearance. And we've got Lockheed Martin and defense contractors. Even Trump has addressed this. Even Trump has addressed this. And he's fixing to be up to his elbows in alligators, taking on these big four tech giants. And I tell you what, if anything, what I is hell. And it indicates to me that the American infrastructure is at risk or is compromised. Stone in I'm living, breathing proof. I've spent more than half of my life, I've spent my whole life, really, in the weather industry. I married the weather at 16. I've been studying and passionate about the weather, or frightened of the weather, since about pube 1. So, I've been actively chasing storms for 15 years. And what we're dealing with is a situation where my industry is being corrupted. The laggards, now 15 years in, want a slice of my pie. And Facebook is censoring me. Amazon is censoring me. And they've taken away about 80% of my market share. They've isolated me from my people, and they've utilized infrastructure to snatch my personal constitutional rights away from me. And there ain't a motherfucker out there who's doing a thing about it. And through this experience, I've exposed loopholes in the American system and deemed a term what I'm calling the crushing class. It's a setup, it's a lie, a lot of it. The people are getting to it, but right now it's big time counterintelligence. There's rats. We don't know whose side anybody's on. I don't. So, you kind of got to stake a flag in the ground. You got to make a touch. In this case, I made the ultimate sacrifice. All of this is going to come to light because now the rat bit me. Now I'm dragging the rat out of the hole. Okay? We're going to get to this. You still there? I'm dragging the rat out of the hole. Through this intense, rigorous surveillance campaign has led me to studying a lot of amazing things in terms of spectrum, in terms of signaling for my military people, ComSec for all my military people. All of these things, has led me to believe that there is remote control. People are reading people's thoughts. They are, quite frankly, skyjacking people. And these tech companies are picking their winners and they're whacking the losers. It's not that they didn't put 15 years in the game. It's not that they didn't get censored. Which I'm not trying to point things. I'm an ASAP Rocky fan. I'm a Donald Trump fan. I heard there was some trouble up there. He's getting bonded out of jail. I released the Gomorrah codes in Mississippi. I went to jail over Bud Light. I almost died in there. I had no money. I go out. I'm getting censored. I'm getting silenced. And in Hurricane Florence, I try to do a Dr. Dre freestyle. They cut my feed. Who, I don't know. But they cut my rap. And I got a 3-month suspension early on YouTube. My Facebook still isn't fucked up. I've got the proof. You'd see the videos. We're going into now the 8th month of this mysterious 117 ban that they're giving me. They cut me off from over 2,200 people. They cut me off from my industry. They cut me off from my peer group. I tried to get lawsuits, and I found how deep the rat hole goes. You can see it all. It's all on video. If you look through my video, you can see it. And now you're going to see why the information is so secure. You can't see me right now. Nobody can see me. Everybody has these phones, and their phones are fucked up. I've done computer repair. I've been to over 180 different houses. What their computers see is different what other computers see. My internet's fucked up. I took on AT&T. They're fucking me, and they're fucking the people, and that's why their stock price is so low. They got garbage. I don't know who they got running their company, but they got garbage. And I've had to fight them for years. And now, this is my only access point. I have a TV in there, smart TV, wireless TV, with a wireless chip. The information network is so clouded that the hackers can get into my TV. I can't get into my TV. They're getting into the fucking TV through the waves. They're getting into the cell phone through the fucking waves. And anyone who knows anything about infrastructure knows about the front end, the back end, server-side communication, which 80 to 90% of them have no fucking iota on how this stuff works. And the other half of them, they don't give a shit. You give him a 6-pack, he fucks his wife, he's happy. He throws the ball with his kids, he says, "You're crazy. I don't believe it. I don't want to believe it. I'm balling because I got a block." So meanwhile, other guys, they're getting their bond money paid. I can't afford to fly to Sweden. I'm not rich. I can't get my record label going because my internet doesn't work. I'm being censored on Facebook. Who's helping me? I called the FBI. They hung up on me. I called the local sheriffs. And I love law enforcement. I love my sheriff's department. They'll bust me for a bag of weed. They'll take away my life and my future and my ability to work. What are they doing for me? They're going to go down to Palo Alto. They're going to get Mark Zuckerberg or Jeff Bezos for multiple felony conspiracy charges, conspiracy to commit surveillance, espionage. That's tradecraft. That's the death penalty. You know what happens when you do that? That's the death penalty. No one's taking them on because they're in their goddamn pockets. As the richest man in the world, and his sight doesn't work. My mother's about to die. There's a tree falling over in her house. They work 40 hours, 60 hours a week, stay in a trailer park. And there's a tree. They won't cut it down. The people, the river people, the Tom Digby Power people, the TVA people, the landlord, the cunt, he won't fucking do anything. They're greedy cunts. And all they care about is money. And that's why they're going down the fucking tubes, in my opinion. They have, and tattoo this on your face, they have so much money that their word doesn't mean anything. I've been down and out, my truck's fucked up. They're in a part house in the shithole town, which is not a shithole town, it's shithole people. I've been real hard on America. I've said a lot of fucked up things about America, but I love America. The people don't want to get along. They ain't got no fucking respect. You know, we got people, they don't park where they're supposed to, they want to buck. You try to tell them otherwise, they want to beat your ass. They want to pull a pistol on you. There's a murder every day. Nobody wants to work together, and this is where I've come out. They're one of three things. Remember this, and don't you forget it. 90% of them, they're either part of the jail class, they're a part of the church class, or they're part of the working class, aka the crushing class. You're going to build their infrastructure, which, by the way, you live inside. You want to talk about these Mo things? You're all Mo's. It all comes back Los Alamos. Look up at the town. It's all written in the map from the railroad days. Literally, from when the first railroads were run in 1800. They run them out like lemmings. It's quantum rigging, quantum computing. And they have genes inside of your body. They're called blue genes. They connect through Bluetooth communication. This is from the highest authority. Everything that they do is organized through this. And you know where it comes from? Satellites. They're like, well, America, this, that, the other, this, that, the other. I said, you don't have a gun that big. And I don't believe, it may be secret, but I don't believe America has a gun that big. Because where it goes, and I'm not going to call out countries, it goes into Europe, it goes into Russia, it goes into this orthodox, unorthodox shit. It goes back to the religion that has infected and destroyed the Americas, and has destroyed the world for over 2,000 years. They have control. History's a lie. It's all bullshit. And in the words of Rick Ross, I finally understand what he means. The devil is a lie. If I can't trust the integrity of my network, if I can't trust the integrity of the people I'm working with, I can't do any work. I can't. And I've been stoned. I went for a job interview. I spoke to a man, a VP down here. I'm not going to say which company out of respect. Asked me to send him an email. Send him an email. So either the internet people messed up communication, in which case I'm silenced, in which case that's the NSA, the CIA, or the FBI's job, which the IC3 and the FBI is a joke. J-O-K-E, it's a joke. I've got it on tape fucking up. Go in there and look. How in the fuck can I submit? And then they punish me. The tech companies punish me. So what they're doing is they're recruiting people for their new agenda, and they're fixing to blow America up. And it's not just America. They're blowing it all up worldwide. So, you know, nobody wants to believe it. Nobody wants to believe in these nano drones. Nobody wants to believe in this network that they've constructed with the forks. We call them forks, tuning forks. You know, Nobody wants to talk about the brain to skull communication. They're using microwaves and light waves. It's faster than the speed of sound. How they speak into your mind. You tell me this, can you get them to stop speaking to you? I don't know. Not asking you, did they give you a manual? No, they gave you a nameplate and they told you the words like, yo, Gotti, they wanted you to, fix hamburgers, milkshakes, and French fries. But you're the bad guy. You're the con. You're a felon. You risked your life for the family. I said, who's paying your bond money? Hell, who's paying my bond money? I still got fines I got to pay. And then they're talking about cutting my check, cutting my money. They call me a con. A con. And the guy that's tried to join the military 5 times, I've tried to fight for my country 5 times, they turned me down. Offered to give up all my weather dreams, everything that I've ever wanted. The Champion Project, my church project, everything I've worked for. Worked in the communities. Who bought buses? I bought buses. Who built companies? I built companies. Who's helping me? I send money out each month when I can because I like to contribute. People don't like to talk of insurance, and I don't like to talk of insurance, but at the same time, it's like, hey, I support the agenda, but who's supporting my agenda? Because I'm about out of money. And the way things are going, it looks like I'm going to die. I say, Tyler, why'd you grow your hair out? Why are you acting like that? We want you to go back to the hip hop and all that shit. It's like, hey, man, I've done a couple of things. I don't have the money. I don't have the infrastructure. I've had a ton of projects I want to work on. My internet shit is fucked up. I got on AT&T. I had to yell, what are they doing? All the money I could have done had by now. 3 years go by, so I called my lawyers. Hell, I called the Social Security, the SS guys, Secret Service guys. They said, the first time, which they've replaced the head of the Secret Service by now, but they hung up on me. I went to the state backbone, and that's where the cops were called on me. I had to leak the Gomorrah codes on a state backbone because no one in their area had the slightest clue. They wouldn't do anything. The FBI wouldn't do anything. The Secret Service wouldn't do anything. And I went to jail, and the people in there told me, you talk to the government, they will put you in a septic tank. They will lock you up forever. So don't say anything to the government. Because they don't give a fuck about you. They want you dead. They want you all dead. And they're going to kill you all. And I'm living proof of it. Like I said, 3 years have gone by. The richest man in the world makes $20 million, $30 million a day. And my family, my people out here struggling, and they won't stand up for it. Everybody loves the Constitution. I said, well, what's going on now? They're not protecting my constitutional rights. They have a monopoly. This man owns Whole Foods, which of course poor people don't shop at Whole Foods. They can't afford it. My litigator, I called one of my litigators. He told me he can't do anything because technically they can refuse the right to serve anybody. I'm like, okay, so this where we're heading. Walmart, they've got their cameras. They're going to scan your eyes. They're going to scan your face. You can't buy. You can't sell. You can't shop. What are they going to do next? They put STDs in your condoms, by the way, people. 80% of the people, 90% of the people out here now have herpes or gonorrhea or syphilis or some type of STD. They're going to round you up and they're going to gas you. They're going to kill all of you dirty people. Because you're dirty. You're not clean. You're all Simros. You're all Simmos. You're all under control. It's in your genes. It's simple. You can do a blood test. Now they've got eye tests. And they want to put the RICO Act on G's. They want to put the RICO Act on vice lords. They would put the RICO Act on MS-13. They want to put the RICO Act on ABs. They want to put the RICO Act on SCRs. But they don't want to put the RICO Act on these churches. They don't want to put the RICO Act on these so-called service clubs that steal all our shit and stick and inoculate like a virus. They've spread through the countries of the world, 160 countries. These fuckers they inoculate children. Back in Cambodia, they used to hack off their arms. They said, we don't want our people inoculated. They inoculate them, and guess who's behind it? The same people that are doing that mind control shit. You don't have a choice not to inoculate. So I say, shovels down, guns up. Give me liberty or give me death. If you're not fighting for me, we'll take it. So if my government's not fighting for me, and I try to join the military, and I'm willing to fight and die for this shit, I've been out in these storms and they're trying to censor me, silence me, and copy me, and then silence me from my peers. I got no respect. Your infrastructure is a joke. Your internet technology is a joke. And I want my goddamn money. And I want these fuckers brought to justice. And if they can't handle that, then take me to jail. Take me to the concentration camp. Because I'd rather go to the concentration camp or the jail and keep my honor and my integrity. You keep the money. Because it ain't going to do me no good. I don't want the crown anymore. It's a disgrace. It's just like football or basketball. If they're throwing games, they're fucking up. It's all a game. It's all rigged. That doesn't mean anything to me. If it's golf, PGA golf, if you're rigging balls and you're fucking things up, you're picking your winners, and you're paying people to lose. If the infrastructure is a disgrace to people in my industry, it's like, if I can't communicate to my network, if it's not a fair network, then I don't want the crown. Keep the crown. Keep your money. Keep your rotten soul. And if it is a simulation series, and if there is that type of stuff where it is polydimensional, and they're rigging something up like that, then keep it. Because my life is fleeting. If you can't get your shit together, like I said, the parts house, none of the people I had to wait 3 days. They said, hell, if this was the military, where's my landing gear? We got to get this plane airborne. You told me the landing gear would be here by 12Z. Where's my fucking landing gear? If the landing gear's not here, you're going to the brig. You're going to the goddamn brig. And that's all I can say. These people around here, they want to lie. They want to fuck up. They want to do what they want to do. There ain't no man that I've seen, and I promise you, this is my right hand of the good Lord. And the way they spy on me, take it from my eyes. By the way, that's another thing. They're stealing shit out your eyes. So they know. They know enough that I've done a little bit to where I can see they're spying on me. And they've exposed their infrastructure. They're not doing what they need to be doing to make it right. And they're not going to. Yeah, the FBI can't do anything, so the top cops can't do shit. Now, they'll bust you. They'll lock you in federal prison for saying something they don't like. We got veterans going to prison for a bag of weed, and you go down there, the government was one of the first people that really ever gave me drugs. They drugged the shit out of me. They tortured me. They want to know, well, why does that guy get a check? Let's go beat him up. They tortured the shit out of me. They taught me how to fail. They fucked my mind up. Who's going to pay for that? That's statute of limitations. My felony was over 7 years ago, motherfucker. That is statute of limitations, and I still can't get this shit going. They trying to throw us away. Getting rid of all the alpha males. Getting rid of all the gangs. Let me tell you something before I go. All my gangbanger motherfuckers in there, I'm a peon. But in the genocide, they had stars they made the Jews wear. That was SS2. This SS3. Now they let the people tattoo the stars on themselves. And let me tell you, they fight them. and they torture them there in the jails. And they're going to blow this whole motherfucker up. They're going to fight you all against each other, and they're going to do it again. And it's going to be worse. And you're going to have no way to fight them. You ain't got a gun that big. How are you going to shoot down them satellites? The Apollo satellites and things in the space. And you got your DirecTV. How do you think you can pick up all that picture on that little satellite dish and your mind ain't picking that shit up? They stealing that shit out your mind. But they ain't going to say anything about that. And if you say anything, you crazy. And they're going to lock you up and they're going to drug you on the back of the taxpayers. They're going to sneak in their Marxist motherfucking psychologists that are going to whisper in your ear and pit you against your family members. They're going to put you in your churches like they did back in the 1800s. They're going to work you into railroad towns and they're going to railroad your ass. They're going to kill the alphas. They're going to rape the women just like they did, just like they're doing. They're doing it today. Just look around. And they're going to find somebody to put the blame on because they control the media. And they're going to pay certain people to step on the others. So, like I said, if that's the world you want to live in, go right ahead. Just like the gas station, high energy lasers, it's hell.